Hey guys, Tisha here, and we're back for another Basketball Wives of Orlando review. I'm telling you now that some of the people that I originally thought was going to get on my nerves officially got on my nerves this episode. We begin this episode seeing Nique. She's been booked and busy, and she's been out of Orlando because of it. We see her meet up with Mulan. She does do a lot of venue appearances, so I kind of wonder why they didn't capture that. Maybe because they didn't want people to know yet that she was filming for the show. Mulan fills her in about the argument between Danielle and Mackenzie that happened at Ashley's event. She said that she feels like it wasn't the place and time, but she can't understand why Danielle feels the way that she feels. I don't understand why Danielle is taking it out on Mackenzie. You told her, she doesn't believe you. Take that up with your children's father, because honestly, and some of you may disagree, even though there's parts of Mackenzie that I don't care for, Mackenzie doesn't owe Danielle anything. Her ex-fiance does. Nique lets us know that she's going to be inviting everyone for a girls' night out to loosen up, as well as to be able to film content for her channel. At one point later on in the episode, we see her trying on different outfits and stuff for the girls' night out. She has managed to build a brand off of doing things like this, and it's been very successful for her. We then see Mehgan, and she's walking into this space where this man by the name of Dre is, who we find out is a tattoo artist, business owner, and his name is Dre. She says that they have a lot in common, but she misses him because I'm assuming that they're long distance because she decided to film for the show and act like she's moving to Orlando. She wants him to come closer, but he's letting her know, like, you want me to be closer, but you know how I am about family and I can't leave my kids. That's not realistic. If that man has children there, then his children need to come first, and you need to go back there because you can do what you're doing, which is a podcast, anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the city where you are. He lets Mehgan know, that family is important. Some kind of way they talk about kids and stuff, because I guess her having a baby matters more to her than her having a ring. And she says she wants kids, gives him a fake pregnancy test. It says that she's not pregnant. He breathes a sigh of relief, and he says, like, he wants kids with her, but he feels like a problem is gonna arise because she is not close to her family. I don't think that he should be trying to force her to have connections that just aren't there. Not everyone is close to her family. I get that he wants the best for her, but her family, if they decide to build together, his family can become her family. We find out that her mom had her when she was 18. She hasn't been close to her mom. She was raised by her grandmother. The only time that her mother really contacts her is to be her +1. It isn't a thing where she really checks on her or anything like that. They can go years at a time without seeing each other, and that's their dynamic. We then see Mulan, who is trying for Danny, which is Danielle, and Mackenzie to form some type of agreement where they could just hash it out and be okay. Mulan says, woman to woman, as she's talking to Mackenzie, that he was with Danny for 8 years. They have kids together. She was his fiance, and then 90 days later, he's with you. Do you not think that they have been together in that time? Mackenzie says no. Mackenzie seems really sure of herself. She hasn't even talked to Danielle to really find out what the true story is, or looked at the so-called receipts that Danielle says that she has, yet she claims that she knows everything. Like, she even talks about how the only reason why he denied me to her is because he wanted to keep things peaceful, and he didn't want her to have harassed me and all these other things. And after seeing how she was at the event, I'm glad that he did that. That's a lie too, because that's not why he did it. Because either way, she was going to find out. And if he didn't have anything to hide, I'm not saying she may not have felt a way, but it wouldn't be to the degree that it was. Excuse me. Mulan says that one lie that he told then turned into multiple lies, and Mackenzie makes yet another excuse for him. Mulan says she feels like he's doing what a lot of guys do, which is play both sides, and that she needs to get to the source, that he created this triangle with them, and that they need to find a way out. And I agree with that. We then have Ashley. Ashley is at home and she's telling us how not only did she lose her father, but she lost her mother and she lost a son that she was pregnant with, all in a few years of each other. As a result of her losing her son, that they decided to try to have a baby via surrogacy. They had one surrogate who got pregnant, and then they went with another one to have another baby. We find out that their oldest son, Carter, is on the autistic spectrum, and she's now thinking that their youngest son is on the spectrum as well. I feel like at this point, we all know someone who is on the spectrum. I know there are people in my family that are on the spectrum. And one thing I can say that I agree with her about, because she used her husband as an example, how he didn't find out until he was an adult after he was in the NBA that he's autistic as well. So the sky is the limit, and the sky is the limit. A lot of autistic children, I'll say all of them, at least all the ones that I've encountered, are highly intelligent. They may have some sensory issues. They may have some delays. Some of them don't like to be touched. Like there's different variables. There's different, no one person is exactly the same. Noise sensitivity. Some people don't like touch. Like I have a cousin who he doesn't like the way certain things feel. And as a result, he's really, really hesitant to touch certain things or eat certain things because he doesn't like the texture and he doesn't like loud noises. So there's there's still so much that they're finding out about it. I think that she's doing everything that she's supposed to do, because we see later on in the episode that she takes her younger child to get tested because she wants to be up on things, and she's going to speech therapy and all these other things. I think that as long as she continues to do that, that her sons will be okay. Sorry for rambling. Danielle and Mehgan are getting ready for date night, which is going to be the thing that we see with the girls. They're talking about how lonely Mackenzie must be with her 2 kids. And how, unlike Nique, she has nothing going for herself, that Nique is a boss. I did not like the energy of this scene. I don't like how badly they're speaking about Mackenzie and how many negative things that they have to say about her because of this situation. Deal with your fiance, your ex-fiance. Danielle says she should have found a single man, not one who was engaged. And I thought they were broken up by the time that they met. I don't quite understand the timeline, because we're hearing about 90 days, and then she told us last episode that she slept with him like a week before. When did they break up? And when did Mackenzie and him meet? Because there's a lot of confusion in all of this. We then get to the event space where Nique arrives before all the girls. We see the ladies arrive. Everybody's there with the exception of Ashley and Mackenzie. Nique mentions to the ladies that she did invite Ashley because she feels like Ashley's on another island and she doesn't really want her to feel that way. Nique has already told us that when it comes to all these different situations going on between Morgan and Ashley and Mackenzie and Danielle, that she is not getting in the middle of it. So she asked her to come, wants her to feel included and all that stuff. We see Morgan and Danielle saying that not only is she on another island, but she's living in the land of Delulu. I'm telling you now, I can see that these 2 ladies are going to get on my nerves. I want to know, how long ago did this thing happen with Morgan and Ashley, and Morgan's ex and Ashley? Because at this point, he's created a new life. He's with a new woman, and he has children. And I don't want to keep hearing about it. And this is coming from someone who's experienced her own heartbreak. So when you sitting here and you just keep going about this issue, I want a timeline. I want to know, Morgan, when did you get divorced from this man? Because he's legit created a whole family. Not saying it's right, but Morgan is talking about this like this happened yesterday, and I want to know when it really happened. As the waiter is coming with drinks and glasses, he breaks all the glasses. We see the ladies go to the bar to get a drink, since those won't be able to be broken. Ashley and Mackenzie arrive. When they walk in, we see Danielle and Morgan immediately laughing like they're in high school. And we find out later that they're laughing because Ashley has locks in. Mehgan asks Ashley if that's a wig, and she goes, no, it took 7 hours to do it. And she was like, well, how do they do it? Is it extension? She said it's a braid, and then they wrapped it. She says it's tight. Mehgan tells her it looks tight. Danielle says it looks tight. Yeah. Like how everyone's fresh braids look, unless they do it themselves. When I braid my hair, sometimes even myself, it's tight. So what are y'all talking about? I feel like I didn't like the picking. The picking was irritating me. Nique looks over there and tells them to cut it out. Mackenzie says that she's looking forward to hanging with everyone but Danielle. Nique says to all the ladies, this event is to have fun without drama and all the extra stuff. Then Mehgan, being the messy person that she is, decides that she wants to do a never have I ever game, but she wants them to submit their papers anonymously. So here's some of the things we hear. Never ever have I slept with a married man. Never ever have I been a side chick. A few of them say they have been side chicks before, but the key here in this scene is that Mackenzie says that she hasn't. Mackenzie then in confessional says, how could you be a side chick if there was no main? This is going to get ugly, because I get it, Mackenzie. You feel like he wasn't with her when it happened, but you keep negating her feelings, because the same way you feel like he wasn't with her, Nique knew that Dwayne wasn't with you. And Nique is showing you a lot of grace in your feelings and all that other stuff, but you're not doing the same to Danielle. Even though Danielle is doing a bit much, it seems like you did the same thing last year, and we're just not being able to be privy to all of it. Then we hear, never have I ever put my friends onto another friend's significant other. It's clear that Danielle wrote the first question, and it's clear that Morgan wrote the second question. Somebody reads, never ever have I been fake. Morgan tells Ashley, yes, you have. You might as well put your finger down. I'm not going to go over the rest of the questions because I was beyond annoyed at this point. Just know that Morgan and Danielle use this opportunity to get out whatever frustrations that they had with the ladies. Ashley points out how I'm not being fake by saying that we were basketball friends, because that's what we were. We were friends in basketball. Yeah, and I invited you to my wedding, but we did not hang out like that. We were not those type of friends. Some question was asked about her hair, about Ashley's hair is always being messed up, and then Ashley says broke people have a lot of opinions. It just was a bunch of unnecessary back and forth. We then see Mehgan meet up with her brother, who she hasn't spoken to a lot in the last few years. We find out that he's close to her mom. She tells him about her boyfriend and about how he wants to work on the family dynamic. And as they're talking, their whole conversation seems a little bit odd to me, because this is your biological father and you're asking him about the family and how the kids are. You're not saying, how are my nieces and nephews, or how is your wife, or I don't know if he has a ring, how's your significant other? It just seemed real formal to me. It didn't seem like a brother and sister that were catching back up. She feels that her mother uses her and her mother is a narcissist, and she's looking for her mother to take accountability. They talk about how they both have had issues with their mom, and he says that yes, their mom does have the attitude, and yes, a lot of times she's wrong, but despite her being wrong and her being out of line, that she still needs to be respected. And I feel like I'm so tired of us as people saying that adults demand certain respect from adults. At a certain point, it's okay for you to remove people from your circle. Protect your level of peace, whatever that means. So if that means that you hold your mom at an arm's length, then that's what you do. You don't have to worry about being disrespectful. Protect your peace. We then see Nique, Mulan, and Nique meeting up at the nail salon. And this is when I got irritated with Nique. Nique talks about how she felt bad about how everything went with Ashley because everybody was picking on Ashley and she didn't want to seem like she was being a bully. We find out from Nique that Mehgan is the one who wrote the hair question about Ashley. All of them say that they don't like messy stuff, including Nique. All of them agree that the girls are being mean girls and they're kind of acting like bullies. Mulan talks about how if they can't be cordial, then they won't be able to hang out. That's the end of that clip. But we know later on in the episode that Nique is going to try to make it seem like Mulan and Nique were talking junk when she was right there having that same conversation. And nothing that they said was a lie. They were being mean. They were being petty. They were being catty. Mulan and Danielle meet up. They're shooting hoops. We know that they're both college athletes. Danielle says that she wants to go back into being a basketball player. She lets us know that she did one season overseas and she got pregnant. Danielle says that co-parenting right now is hard, especially with Mackenzie being there. She's angry and upset because all of this is fresh. That is the truth. That I believe. Mulan says that she wants them to talk because they didn't really get a chance to really talk to one another at the other space. She wants it to be like a last supper. I get that they're trying to get them to talk, but I feel like certain conversations shouldn't be had with an audience. So I'm hoping that at some point, they pull each other to the side. Because having this type of conversation with one another in this capacity with an audience, it just seems like it gets heightened and emotions are high and people say things that they may not necessarily say when they're away from each other. While they were talking, I can't help but look at how beautiful Mulan's face is, but her body drives me nuts, especially when they get to her butt. It just, it don't look good, baby. Lift it up. You're an athlete. I don't know how you run around the court with that. You talking about how you want to build back up your stamina. That thing is going to slow you down. And it's not, if it was natural, it wouldn't slow you down as much. But because it's not, it's going to slow you down. We then see Nique at Morgan's house getting ready. The doorbell rings. It's flowers. We find out that she got the flowers delivered to the home of Morgan's because of all that she's going through. We hear again about the drama with Ashley. She says that she likes Mackenzie, but she can't deal with delusional people. At this point, y'all let me know how you feel, but I feel like Morgan is a little delusional herself. Because you've already said what you said to Ashley. You and Ashley have had your words. What more do you need to say? Then here comes Nique doing that messy thing, like I said, where she's telling the ladies that, not the ladies, she's telling Morgan that the ladies said that they're being bullies and mean girls, even though she said it too. Morgan says if anyone's being bullied, it's her, and her children are being brought into it. I need to know exactly what was said about her children that we're saying that the children are being brought into it. Are we saying they're being brought into it because their parents got divorced? Are we saying that they're being brought into it because they're actually being brought into it? Nique then tells her, I don't feel like you guys are bullies. I just feel like you guys are standing up for yourselves. What? That's not what you said when you were in the salon. Is Nique here to start mess? That's my question. We hear about how Mulan is playing both sides. I don't think Mulan is playing both sides. Morgan then says, if you have a conversation, be ready that you have to answer it. And that is the end of this. This still, even though it got on my nerves, was a decent episode. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week because it looks like Nique is going to have some words with Morgan, and I look forward to seeing it because I think Nique is very calm, cool, and collected, but she doesn't seem like the type that's going to let anybody punk her. And I want them to call Nique out because I think Nique is starting up some mess too. But we'll see. You guys let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Sorry this was all over the place. I'm a little off tonight, but I wanted to make sure I got this done. If you have not done so already, go ahead and subscribe. Join the family. I'm on the road to 400 for now, and then I'll be on the road to 5. The goal is to get to at least to 1,000 so I can begin to be monetized. Thank you so much for your time. Until next time.